Horror Hounds, welcome to episode 17. If you're living in the UK and live around about where Chris live, tier 4, not great. Everything's locked down again. I know that some of our American listeners reached out to me on Twitter when I put a tweet out yesterday after the announcement asking what was wrong. Just we're basically back on lockdown now. Christmas is kind of cancelled for everyone. It's a little bit shitty. How are you feeling about it, dude? How you doing?
I'm filling my time with more Christmas films.
Nice. Any horror Christmas films?
I don't actually like horror Christmas films. I don't. They're not my thing. But as a kind of middle ground, Gremlins is one of my favourites.
Oh, Gremlins is a horror film, man. Like anyone that says Gremlins ain't a horror, it's a horror film. It's a kid's horror film, but it's a horror film. You know?
Well, this was my question. What age do you think is suitable? Because I've got to make a decision.
Oh yeah. How old are your kids?
12, 9, and 5. So obviously they don't all have to see it. The problem is
five might be a bit young.
My 5-year-old is the one who'll enjoy it more.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't watched it.
It's only a couple of bits, like the whole bit in the kitchen with the mum.
Yeah.
And when he's in the Christmas tree and that's all horrific. When she's talking about Father Christmas in the chimney being her dad, that was horrible.
You know, that kitchen scene was meant to be a lot more graphic. I actually believe they shot a lot more graphic stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Some crazy practical effects.
I mean, it's pretty disturbing.
Yeah, man. It's the
scene that sticks out for me with the music as well. Can you hear what I hear?
No, it's dark. Yeah, apparently, like the original cut of Gremlins is really dark, and then I think it was Spielberg was like, "No, we've got to tone this down. Like we can't."
Like, Joe, that exists anywhere.
I believe there's some of it out there somewhere. Maybe I saw it in a documentary, so I can't remember. But or maybe it was just like storyboard or something. But yeah, it was quite graphic. I believe Spielberg was like, "Well, we got to tone this down. We got to come on, Joe Dante. This is a kids film."
I've also watched the Home Alone films. I've done them. And
so when you say Home Alone films,
I'm not talking about 3.
Oh, cool.
And Muppet Christmas Carol as well.
Of course.
And I have to say, I think I'm enjoying it a lot more than anyone else in the house.
I love it, mate. That might be my favourite Christmas film of all time.
Well, absolutely. I think I'm going to have to go with Scrooged, Bill Murray.
Oh, that is a good one.
I really, really like it. Yeah. I have to watch it every year.
There's a few good ones out there, man. I mean, like Gremlins is up there more recently than those. Elf, of course.
Elf, yeah.
Yeah. Home Alone.
Elf isn't as good for me as I remembered. I remember really loving it, and I've watched it. I think I watched it last year, and I thought, yeah, it's all right.
Oh, that's interesting. See, we didn't watch it last year. We're going to watch it this year, wrapping presents. So, yeah. Do you know what? I think that's why I haven't gone back, because I remember really, really, really loving it. But I don't know if I've slightly got the nostalgia glasses on and it's not going to live up to. Yeah.
Could be.
We have to see, man. All right, one last question on Christmas films. Home Alone 1 or Home Alone 2?
Oh. I'll say 1.
Oh, really? Interesting. Mine's always 2.
Who do you think gets hurt more? Harry or Marv?
It's Marv. It's got to be Marv. Right?
Bricks in the head.
Yeah.
Iron in the face.
Marv's the one with the amazing scream. Right?
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant.
So good. So good, like that.
We all try to do it. We all try to recreate the scene with, not with the bricks, but with the. We all stand throwing bricks at each other. We just can't get the scream. None of us.
No, it's a marvel. No pun intended, Marv. But
are you sure?
Yeah, no, yeah. I'll take it. I'll take it. It is. It really is. It's one of the best screams in. It's one of those things that I don't like. It probably is owned by copyright, but like it's one of like the Wilhelm scream that turns up in everything. I just want in every film I ever do, I just want to put the Marv scream in like one bit. It like, oh man, it's so good, so good. Love it, absolutely love it. Right, shall we get on to a little bit of horror? So there's been there's been a few things that have dropped over the last few weeks we're going to pick up with, but I want to start with some slightly promising news. I say slightly promising because we've got to wait until July 30th, 2021 for it. But A24 have announced that The Green Knight will be dropping, as I said, in theatres July 30th, 2021. So now we already put this trailer up on an earlier episode of Things That Go Up in the Night. It's probably actually the most talked about trailer we've ever put up. Like I remember after the episode, everyone saying about my God, what a stunning thing. And we shared some like gifs
looks
and
beautiful.
stuff. Yeah, oh, it's incredible. Yeah, dude, what do you think about that? We're getting it in cinemas.
I mean, that's great, really great news. However, I wouldn't necessarily say A24's films are the kind of films that have to be experienced in the cinema. I think there's an argument to say that they can be enjoyed in more cozier settings as well, more atmospheric settings. I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy it at the cinema. I would, and I will. Hopefully, we can go and see it. But I think my first choice for what I could see is going to be like your bigger blockbuster films.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I do love that this is going to the cinema. I definitely want to see it in the cinema. But I have to admit, this is the one that, and look, I like that they've A24 have committed and said, no, look, we promised these filmmakers a cinema release. We're going to give them a cinema release. And I like that because they're definitely prioritizing that over money. Because as you said, I think so many more people would watch this at home, as is the case with most A24 films. More people will buy this on DVD and Blu-ray and VOD. So they're definitely prioritizing that over putting out early and, making a quick buck off of it. But it's good, man. I mean, how long it stays in the cinema is always kind of the question with A24 films, right? Because they kind of move about a little bit and don't stay there for as long as they should. But
I mean, I hope they haven't made a mistake, and I hope that they make enough to keep making these kind of films.
Yeah, I agree, man.
It would be a real shame if they've made a mistake for admirably sticking to what they said they would do.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially in a landscape where even if, I mean, look, we've got a vaccine approved now. America have approved 2 vaccines. The second one should be approved by the EU this week. It's going to be interesting to see how many people start rushing out to cinemas when they're all back open. It's definitely not going to be what it was, right? And I've always said that with A24 films, I've seen a few A24 films in the cinema, and it's never a big audience. It's never ever a big audience.
I saw Midsummer in cinema, and the audience was tiny, really tiny.
Yeah, and that's one of their big films, right? That's one of their tentpole films.
Really, I mean, people were really talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen years ago. I saw The Witch. That was not that many people. Like I said, quite a few people walked out. I saw A Ghost Story, which I believe this is the same director actually as A Ghost Story. Again, hardly anyone in there. Yeah, Midsummer, Hereditary, stuff like that. Hereditary is probably the most I've seen of any audience, but again, not packed. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I agree with you. I hope they haven't. Look, I'm all for putting films in cinemas. I think all films should go in cinemas. You should see all films in cinemas, but there is the business side of it. So we'll see how that goes, man.
Well, on the other hand, if bigger films are not going into cinema, what with Warner Brothers announcement and possibly certain cinemas pulling out of that, then there's a chance that opens the pack a bit for films like this, and hopefully a few people, more casual people who just go to the cinema and pick something to watch, might think, oh well, I'll give this a try instead.
Well, this is something me and you have predicted. For those of you that listen out there that are part of my Patreon channel, so thank you very much for that off the top. But we just done the first episode, and I wrote Chris in to discuss the future of theatrical versus streaming, and we said that maybe one of the really, really nice benefits of streaming, or these big blockbusters going to streaming, like in the Warner Bros. Deal and Disney basically moving to blockbuster series, is maybe we'll see the return of a lot of smaller films, a lot of mid-budget films in cinema. So could this be a sign of things to come? Let's hope so, man. I really, really hope so.
I hope so. And I really love A24's stuff. They've made some of my favourite films over the last few years, and
Yeah.
I mean, wherever it is, the Green Knight is. I've been really looking forward to it.
Oh, definitely, man. I think everyone is. I mean, one of the things I liked about this news popping up is I got to watch trailer again. So I probably watch that trailer more than any trailer in
That's beautiful. It's
this
so
year.
beautiful.
It's just it's art, man. It's
There's so many
absolute art.
stills you could take from that. I think I'd want that on my wall.
Yeah, yeah. Right. So from talking about a trailer onto the clip I sent you this week. So going from theatre to streaming. So probably one of my favourite stream services at the minute, Shudder, have acquired the dramatic revenge thriller Violation. So this is a film that will premiered at the TIFF Film Festival and will be screening at the Sundance Film Festival. I believe it's a digital Sundance Film Festival in January, but or they might have moved it. I'm not sure actually when Sundance is taking place next year. But that's its next screening. I sent you a clip that's been released from this. What did you think?
Do you know what? For a second there, when you started talking, I'd forgotten, and I thought, bloody hell, what clip? I have watched it. Well, before I watched the clip, I was reading what it was about, and I thought,
Yes.
man,
Yeah.
these aren't really my kind of
Yeah.
films. I don't like
Yeah.
particularly like revenge films.
Yeah.
However, watching this clip, there was a real realism to it.
Yes.
Very gritty, very dark.
The way it's shot,
Um,
the way.
yeah, it was very uncomfortable. Very
Yes.
uncomfortable to watch. It looked like it looked like a real woman in distress who had snapped and was
Yes.
taking her anger out, understandably, because this guy was bullying his wife around. She snapped for other things that are going on, and she's venting at him. I found it really uncomfortable because it seems so real, and
I'm
to me, that's
so
that's a
glad
real
you said that.
that's a real triumph for me that they've made me believe in such a small clip, short space of time. They've really made me think, please, get out of there. I thought he was going to hurt her or something,
Yeah.
and I thought it was great. Really looking forward to this now.
Oh man, I'm so glad you said that because I sent you the links for what we'll be discussing on today's show last night, and I said to you I will be sending you a clip
Yeah,
or a trailer. I just haven't decided on exactly which one I'm sending yet because there's a few trailers that have dropped for these TIFF world premieres Sundance films that are coming out that are being acquired now, and people are putting out the trailers. And oddly enough, this was on my radar, but I hadn't watched it yet. I hadn't watched it yet till today. And when I read about it, I had the same kind of reaction as you. I was a little bit like, okay, it sounds okay,
mm,
but we've kind of seen this before. And
yeah,
I like the idea that the co-director, Madeline Sims Fewer, is the lead actress as well. I like that. Okay, let's see what it is. And then
is she?
this clip, yeah,
Oh, I didn't realize.
she's
Wow,
co-directed and she's
wow.
she's the leading role. And man, the way I'm not going to give too much away because I want people to go and watch this. I want people to experience it like you did. But the way it's shot, the dialogue, the back and forth, it's
Is it
great.
because she's British that it seems? I mean, I'm not taking
Might
anything
be.
away from her acting chops, but I think I always felt this about The Conjuring 2 as well, that because it's in Enfield, it's so, you know, it's taken
Real.
away from
Yeah.
Hollywood and it's so
Yeah.
recognizable to us.
Yeah.
Even though obviously it's completely over the top and fantastical, just that little anchor of what we can recognize as real life just helps
Yeah.
it for me.
Of
I
realism.
mean, and this is just totally brutally realistic. It was amazing.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
I can't wait for it, man. Yeah. I'm not gonna say any more about it. Just go and watch it, people. Let us know what you think.
And on
Put
Shudder as
your
well, isn't it?
Yeah, Shudder have acquired it. So this will be
Some point,
dropping sometime
2021.
in 2021. Yeah, it's got the I don't think it's gonna have much festival exposure after some. I mean, you've played TIFF and Sundance, two of the biggest festivals in the entire
Mhm.
world. You need to go anywhere else. I mean, we might get it somewhere else. Maybe a European premiere, a UK premiere, but
I
that would
feel
be
like
big.
on paper I wouldn't have gone out of my way
Yeah,
not to watch it, but it would have to there would have to been shit all on
yeah,
any channel for me to have watched it. But On the back of what you showed me, I mean, I can't wait. I have to see it.
Yeah, it's something special, isn't it? Like that clip just,
Yeah.
oh, go and
And
watch it,
that's
Peter.
just a clip as well.
Exactly.
That's not a trailer where they're taking the best bits and this is just a clip. And you got to think, well, what else is in store? This is like an uncut. This is just a scene from the film.
Honestly, man, it's so good. I watched the clip twice. I'm probably gonna watch it again. I just really like it. I can't wait for it. If that clip is anything like the entire film, I'm sold. I'm on board. Sign me up. So from one streaming service to another, now to the biggest boy in town, Netflix, and Mike Flanagan, who
Mm.
I don't know where the hell he's getting the time to do all this. So, obviously we've made no mistake about how much we like him, from Doctor Sleep to Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, the other million Stephen King adaptations he's made for Netflix. He has got a new series that is just wrapped filming. They had to shut down production during the first lockdown. They thankfully were able to pick it up and do everything safely. And this is a horror series called Midnight Mass. What do you think, man?
I feel like I'm a broken record now, but again, I'm really looking forward to this because he hasn't really put a foot wrong with what
No,
I've seen of his work. I've not
not at
seen
all.
anything of his work that I haven't enjoyed um, to some degree. Doctor Sleep, fantastic. There are parts of it I didn't like, but it's certainly up there enough that seek out his work.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this new series, Midnight Mass, this isn't the fabled third part of his Haunting trilogy. Then this is
No,
something else.
this is something completely different. I had no idea he was
No,
making. He is directed
and it's
every
done.
episode.
It's
Yep,
done.
it's a 7 episode series. He's directed every single episode. One of the things that really stood out to me is he said this is the best experience he's ever had during a production.
No,
And
that's not something you say lightly, is it?
no,
Because I
especially
mean,
during these times.
you don't want to piss people off that
Yeah,
you've worked with
exactly.
previously as
Yeah,
well. It's
there you go. There you go. And he said that this the way everyone was committed to this, the way everyone was so on board with this, they were so dedicated to getting this made. When they returned after the lockdown, they had 83 shooting days left, and not once did they stop.
it's incredible,
They
isn't it?
Yeah, they were able to hit all 83 shooting days with no infections, and to keep going. And what's really incredible about that is, if you've been following any of the other film productions that are taking place at the minute, or TV productions, nearly all of them have had to shut down at least for a day or so, while people
Yeah.
get tested or whatever. So I know there's some smaller films that haven't, but in terms of like large scale stuff, which this very much is, being a huge Netflix series, yeah, man. Like,
And he was very clear to say how meticulous they'd been with guidance and
yes, yeah, can't
the
wait.
social distancing and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. So it is a dream project for him, apparently, as well. Apparently he's been wanting to make this for many years. And I quote, "It is the most personal story I've ever told. I've been reluctant to direct a whole season again after Hill House, but I'm so glad I did in this case. I'm so lucky to have worked with this cast and crew." Speaking of which, it returns several people from Haunting the Hill House and Bly Manor, as well as people from a lot of other properties. Far too many to read out. We'll be here all day. But yeah, look this up. I think this is going to be another smash hit from him. Like you said, he hasn't done anything wrong, has he?
Not, I mean, not that I'm aware of. I've not seen anything of his that I've not enjoyed.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. Again, he's just one of those directors that smashes everything. Like really well. Like he does stuff really well, yet isn't really a household name, which seems crazy to me. The guy behind two of Netflix's most popular series, the guy that finally brought Doctor Sleep to the big screen,
Hmm.
the guy that has made many Stephen King properties, which are notoriously hard to get right, the guy that Stephen King has signed off on multiple times.
Mm.
Crazy, man. Yeah.
I mean, do we know anything about the story?
I personally don't. All I know is that he made a Netflix film called Hush,
Yes.
and it's by the same lady that wrote Hush, I believe. But yeah, I don't know anything more than that. I haven't read the book. I actually had never heard of it.
So
So
I've
yeah.
just looked up a book called
Okay.
Midnight Mass. It's the only
Okay.
one I can find. It was
Right.
published in 1990, and it says vampires have always lived in Eastern Europe, but with the fall of the Soviet Union, they begin to spread across the continent, then the world turning whole populations into vampires or human cattle.
Oh, okay.
Not what I was expecting.
No.
If that is if this is it.
Ah, right. So hold on. So as you were doing that, I pulled up the article I sent you. So there
Yep.
is a 2-line description.
Yep.
Very, very brief. So it reads, the 7-episode series follows an isolated island community experiencing miraculous events and frightening omens after the arrival of a charismatic mystery young priest.
I think I may have had the wrong book. Which
I
I'm
mean,
sure. Hey, look, you
it's a
get
youth one.
you get in 6 things today in this podcast because because that book sounds good as well. Nothing
Yeah,
to do with what we was talking about.
nothing. Mike Flanagan, if you're listening, jump on that book because that might be interesting. That
Well, it's
sounds
just
interesting.
the funny thing is, I was just I was just reading one of the other reviews, and it says something about a where is it? A bomb making nun, a lesbian atheist, and a disgraced priest. I
What?
mean, it sounds like a great book.
I mean, Mike Flanagan, I love you, but I kind of want that series instead. Oh my god. Well, what do you think? What do you think of this now? Now
Yeah,
it sounds
yeah,
very Jim Jones in a way,
yeah, it does. Yeah,
right?
it does. Yeah, but I can completely see this being Mike Flanagan's kind of thing now,
Yes, definitely.
because that threw me when I started reading about vampires, but in the Soviet Union. but but no, this I can see this fitting with him now.
Yeah, I can. I'm very excited actually for this. I must have completely skipped over that the first time, or they've gone back and edit and put that in there. But yeah, that sounds good, man. I'm all about that. I love a little bit of cult activity and stuff. So it sounds
Yep,
like it's going right down that alley. So yeah, once again, sign
very
me
happy.
up. Yeah, very happy. Very, very happy. And talking of happy and excited, probably the news that dropped in the last few weeks is that Robert Eggers, the director of The Witch and The Lighthouse, has just wrapped production on his Viking revenge film, The Northman. My God,
I
I
can't
can
wait.
be more excited about that.
It's probably the film I'm most excited about now.
Oh, like, yes, 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 yes. This is my most, like, I'm just going to say it. This is my most anticipated film of 2021.
Films about witchcraft and religion and the occult. The Witch is right up there for me. One of my favourites, and it come out
Yeah,
of nowhere.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely one of my favourites. Then he comes in with The Lighthouse, which was such a trippy,
Such a weird,
completely different.
yeah,
Um, a little bit like a Field in England in a way. Um,
yes, yeah.
and now this as well. Just looking at the still from it, it's got that same washed out colour of The Witch. I can't wait. I think it's going to be brilliant.
No, I
It's
can't
going to
wait
be.
for this, man. They built, it's set in the 10th century, I believe, in
Yeah,
Iceland. They built a whole Icelandic village from the 10th century for this. Like, this is his biggest budget by far. Did you get a minute to look at the cast?
yeah. I was just going to say that's
Oh,
incredible.
have you got it in front of you?
Yeah,
Read it out.
Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman, Anya Taylor-Joy, Ethan Hawke, Klaus Bang, Kate Dickie, William Dafoe, and Bjork.
Bjork. Come on. Like, Oh my god! Like sign me up on Anya Taylor-Joy, Ethan Hawke, Alexander Skarsgård, Nicole Kidman. The fact that he's reuniting with William Dafoe, then adding
I love William Dafoe. Yeah.
Bjork in there. Really? I'm not even prepared for this film, Chris. I'm not prepared for what this film is going to do to us. This is going to be.
Because and this is set in Iceland, and Bjork is actually Icelandic, isn't she?
She's actually Icelandic, yeah. Well, he wrote the screenplay with a Icelandic poet, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's quite
I'm not
interesting.
going to. I've got it in front of me. I'm not going to attempt to say their name
No,
because I'll only get it wrong.
I remember looking at it and thinking, I ain't got a clue how you say that. But the fact that he's brought someone in of the culture that maybe knows a little bit more about the history, knows a little bit more about what he wants to do, I really like that. That really, yeah, I think
It's very clever. I think
yeah.
you've had two widely praised films.
Yeah.
And then you could be running on complete ego at that point, but no, he's decided because he wants to make it the best he can, he's going to bring in some expertise and share the writing duties of it with someone who knows their shit. I think that's brilliant.
That just speaks to the filmmaker he is.
Yeah.
To the storyteller he is. You know, he puts everything else to the side and just focuses on his story first, get that down, make sure we're doing it justice.
I'm going to want to say that the co-writer is Sion. That's what I'm going to go with.
That sounds about right.
If I'm pronouncing it like you pronounce Bjork, then
there you go. That's a good word.
That's what I'm going to go with. And apologies if they're listening and I've got it completely wrong. Or anyone Icelandic, I did my best.
Man, I can't wait. There's no word on when this is dropping. I believe it's 2021, right? I believe it's definitely happening in 2021. But
and this will be A24 as well, won't it?
This is A24, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I just feel like with him, if I could buy my ticket now, I would. I don't really need 100%. To know anything more. In fact, if they'd just said, "Here's the date of the next Robert Eggers film," you could buy tickets now. I'd buy it without even knowing.
Because... If you told me you could buy like a season ticket to his next 5 films, like you could sign me up. I'll take a subscription out just for his films. You know, I just think they're so unique. They're so different. Yeah. I don't think anyone's doing what he's doing.
So perfectly suited to A24.
There you go. They're not for everyone, but that's why I like them.
Yeah.
Because they're not scared to.
See, I like films like this as well. You're right, they're not for everyone, but I hope that the people who don't find something in it for them can appreciate the risks that have been taken, how unique they are, the positives, the clear positives that are there.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, man, I can't wait for this. I really, really can't wait for this. This is the fact that he's reuniting with William Dafoe from The Lighthouse, but also Anya Taylor-Joy from The Witch. Come on, man! Like,
she's fantastic.
This is everything, you know. Add to that an heavyweight like Nicole Kidman, you know, who is like perfect for that Icelandic, and Alexander Skarsgård, right? Like they look like they're from Iceland. They're the perfect image of
William Dafoe as well. I think
William Dafoe, yeah, and then Bjork herself. Man, this is.
I didn't know Kate Dickie, but I'm just looking her up. She's from Game of Thrones. A Scottish actress.
Yes, wasn't she the mother of one of the? Isn't she the mother in The Witch?
Yes.
Am I thinking of the right person?
She is. You're right. She's also in The Green Knight.
Oh wow. Oh, we're getting our
Prevenge, and just to put the best one in there, she was also a First Order officer in The Last Jedi.
There you go, mate.
Oh man, I'm so excited for this film.
She's a hell of an actress. Sure is.
So do we know when this is coming out?
No, 2021. So they've just wrapped filming.
I hope so.
I imagine. I don't really know, actually. Do you reckon there'll be a long post-production process?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. There might be a bit of like CGI background work.
Wouldn't it be great though if somewhere, somehow, we could have this and The Green Knight as a double showing?
Don't, Chris. I'm going to fall off my chair. Don't do that to me.
But
Don't do that.
I mean, if they cross over, you could make it yourself, couldn't you? You could nip from one screen to another.
Oh,
If they cross over, I would
just
imagine this is going to be later in the year, though. If it is next
imagine
year,
the possibilities. Those, is it? What's the film? Is it Scanners where the head explodes at the end?
yeah,
That would be
yeah.
me after that double bill.
Well,
Just
imagine a Robert Eggers marathon, a triple
oh,
bill.
we're gonna do that
That'd be
when
amazing.
when we open our little independent cinema. That's our first marathon.
That would be fantastic.
That's it. That's what we're doing. That is exactly what we're doing. Oh, damn, that would be good. Damn, that would be good. Love that. Right, enough gushing over Robert
Enough
Eggers.
fantasy talk.
Enough fantasy talk. Let's move on to something very disturbing. I'm, of course, talking about a creepy link of the week. Chris, I'm going to leave it there. Do your thing.
Well, I've gone back to an old favourite, Meat Canyon,
Yes, you have.
who makes kind of very disturbing parodies of beloved children's shows. He does other things as well, some funnier stuff, but it's the darker stuff we're interested in here.
Yes.
And this is a take on SpongeBob SquarePants. And Scott, what did you think?
Well. So again, this is one of those where as soon as you click the link, I see, who's made it. I'm like, okay, here we go. It's like I said to you before we come on air. I watch this 3 times. It's not that long, so you can get in a few viewings if you dare get in a few viewings. It's creepy as hell, and I say that as someone who is very, very well aware of SpongeBob and has seen some SpongeBob, but I am not affiliated with SpongeBob in the way other people are, because our generation just missed it, right? Like you're probably a lot more affiliated with because of your kids.
Yeah.
But like in terms of what we would have watched as cartoons.
Yeah,
like,
I missed it. I missed it myself.
Right. Our generation just missed it. So I find this creepy, and I'm not that affiliated with it. I can only imagine, and this is where you come in, as you probably do have a bigger affiliation through your children. This must have freaked you the fuck out, right?
I found it really uncomfortable to
Right.
watch.
Okay.
So I mean, this is our third Meat Canyon. We did I can't remember what it was called, but the Teletubbies one,
Teletubbies
where
one.
it's like this pagan sun worship.
Yep.
Then we did the Thomas one.
No, this is our fourth. We done the Bugs Bunny one as well.
No, we didn't, mate. I showed you. I showed you one. I showed you that one off because it's filthy. That's from Scott's private collection.
That's from the private collection.
So yeah, I found this one really, really, really uncomfortable to watch. Really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Just all of it. The music, the light change when Squidward, the octopus, comes in. Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob and Squidward's boss, is really disturbing. And there's this constant sexual undertone to it as well. I found it really difficult to watch.
So what do you think it means? If anything. So
the special formula in canon is the patties themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
So I don't know. This is a really weird conversation to have, but I don't know enough SpongeBob to know if he's edible or not. But I mean, they're pulling out his secret formula, which is part of him, and he seems to enjoy being cannibalized and having Squidward and Mr. Krabs' hands in him until he's all used up, as they say. Because I thought the first time I thought, well, they're actually eating him, but they're not. It looks like they're eating something he produces because he was still as intact as he was at the beginning.
Yeah. I read it 2 different ways. First, I read it as a commentary on the fast food industry, right? Because they work at a burger shack, and the secret sauce as you get, or the secret herbs and spices as you get a KFC, stuff like that. So I read it as a bit of a commentary on that. But then on the second or third viewing, I thought maybe it's a commentary on SpongeBob. It's like the cartoon just being like produced now for years and years and years, and just constantly being put out in front of, because there are those rumors around SpongeBob, or a lot of kids TVs actually, but especially around SpongeBob, about the animators and the people that create the show getting quite bored of making it, so they put very dark stuff in there. They put like very hidden stuff in there.
Yeah.
And like the whole idea of, is it like SpongeBob being, oh no, it's Squidward, isn't it, who's depressed?
Yes. Yeah.
And then, yeah, Patrick something else, and then SpongeBob is something else.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah, I don't know. For me, that's just the way it started going.
I think you've got something there, because he has a kind of closing monologue, doesn't he? Where he said,
yes,
I couldn't stop even if I wanted to when
there you go.
when I'm making so many people happy with what I do.
There you go. There you go. That's the, like, I took it as a commentary of that, of like, and also then almost of like a commentary of himself, like the artist that's making that.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
it's almost like the thing of, I want to do stuff different. Like you said, right? He has different stuff out there, right?
Yeah, all sorts of stuff.
None
Just
of that
straight up funny stuff as well.
right, but none of that stuff is nowhere near as popular as the really disturbing stuff.
It's that, yeah, it's the disturbing stuff that.
So I wonder if it's a commentary from him on himself as well, like a lot of artists get, right? Like you hear it with a lot of musicians about, like,
yeah, it could
we're
be
just bored of fucking playing the same shit, but that's all you want to hear. That's all you buy. That's all you know. I mean, we, like, before me and you come on air, we had like an hours long conversation about Star Wars.
A very brief discussion.
A very brief discussion about Star Wars. And it's like that, isn't it? It's like when you do something new in Star Wars, you get a lot of legacy fans that revolt because they just want the same shit again and again and again. So again, this might just be me like reading too much into it, but I read it as a little bit of that. Like it's like you said, I can't stop even if I wanted to, because like you won't let me, because you're literally, you know, you're sucking everything out of me, you're eating everything I have, and I'm making so many people happy. Do
you want to hear the most disturbing bit though?
Go on.
I really wanted to try some. It just looked really nice. It looked like they were really enjoying it.
Oh my god. What do you reckon it tastes like?
Probably like a European cheese. Like you know that what's the one, I can't even pronounce it, the one where the advert goes, it's incredibly smooth and nutty.
Oh yeah.
the big flat holy cheese. Yeah.
That would like give you an instant gut ache and kill you for like a week. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think you've hit a nail on the head there.
I think I've watched too much Meat Canyon.
I think you might have. I think you need to go and have a lay down.
I think so.
My God. All right, dude. I think that's gonna end it, right? Like,
and I think this is our Christmas episode? I guess it is.
This will be our Christmas episode. We probably will be back with one before the end of the year. We've got what, 10 days? 10 days. So yeah, we'll probably be back by one at the end of the year. We'll probably do, I don't know, how do you feel about looking at our most anticipated films of 2021? I mean, kind of fucking ruined number one, but
that would be good actually. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to return with that.
Maybe a look forward and a look back.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, let's do that. All right, we've settled it. We'll be back with one more episode in 2020 where we look back and look forward to everything we have loved and hope to love. And yeah, like Chris said, this is the episode that is dropping just before Christmas. So I hope everyone out there has an amazing Christmas. It's been a very, very hard year for everyone. And like myself included, there's been some personal loss in that. So I just hope everyone has a really good Christmas, no matter where you are in the world and whatever you're doing.
just enjoy yourselves. However you celebrate the festive season. Stay safe.
Yeah, I think that is the best advice we can give. We normally give that at a closing out of every show, so I will say it again. Thank you so much, Horror Hounds. And until next week, please stay very, very safe.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.